This week's proud sponsors of the episode are Murphy & Young Limited. They design, manufacture, supply and erect bespoke timber kit houses and summer houses. You can visit them at murphyandyoungltd.co.uk or contact them at info@murphyandyoungltd.co.uk. If you're looking for any information, if you get any projects they can help you with, then just give them a shout. The lads are top notch. Hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers. Alright everybody, welcome to episode 19 of the Roundup. South of Scotland Cup, the Scottish Junior Cup and then League Action Cup. Like good results and all the top teams and all the leading teams in the leagues all won. Well, excluding the Drum, but they weren't playing. But Petershill won, that's what I mean. I don't know, mate. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a good start to the show. So let's go.
A lot more fixtures than last week, mate. And obviously we couldn't record yesterday due to work commitments, but it's 10 to 10 on a Monday night, and our commitment for the rest of Scotland, it needs to be done, it needs to be touched on. We need to cover the best grade of football going, mate.
Mate, I went to she was like, I'm going to go to my bed now. And I was like, he's a cuddle now, I give a cuddle. Pushed me away because my commitment to the podcast is better than my commitment to my family. That's how much West of Scotland means to me.
Mrs. Dax telling me that I'm in a relationship with you, mate.
Well, mate, look, I never really give you that much hassle, you know what I mean? So I think it's a fair relationship. Right. Before we start, mate, I would like to say a massive thank you to our sponsor of the episode, Murphy & Young. This is the last episode that the boys will be sponsoring for us. 15 episodes. I've done pretty much every single roundup. Genuinely, go and see the guys if you want to get in done. They do like your kind of summer houses and the day joinery work like that. They're top drawer. The boys are brilliant. Go and see them if you need some good work and all that stuff. And tell them PG and Dax sent you. Let them know that
thanks a lot to the team down there. Thanks a lot to the team down there for the support.
I appreciate it, lad. Keeps us going.
Yeah.
Right. So Scottish Junior Cup. Talbot 3, Meda 2, Shotts 1, Rossvale 0. Talbot being the Talbot as always. 3-2. 2-1.
Talbot beat the Talbot?
Did I say Talbot beat the Talbot?
I think so, mate.
Talbot 3, Meda 2.
No, I think you just get a bit tongue-tied, mate.
Late, man.
Mate, some game. Seen a bit of the highlights as well. End-to-end stuff. Typical cup tie. Lots of talking points. Seen a few things.
I think it's a penalty.
Aye.
I think it's a penalty.
A penalty, mate, but aye. Listen, it's a penalty, mate. Got a bit of up here, but did you hear the roar when Talbot scored that last goal?
No. Big McCracken, popping up and does what he does.
He scores goals and he scores big cup goals, mate, especially in that Scottish Cup. But great result for him, great character. I seen Tucker's interview after the game as well, and it was quite good in that as well. He was quite honest, but as he was saying, it's always nice for them to beat Meda. But Meda will be gutted because they've been winning the game. And then obviously with the penalty shout towards the end as well, it could have put them 3-2 up and then obviously Talbot have not the part and scored. So disappointment for them, but as we keep going on about it and we keep saying about it, the Talbot just know how to get through the rounds in the Scottish Cup, and they're an outstanding team in the cup competitions because they're absolutely relentless, mate.
Aye, they are. I watched Spenny's interview after it. Him and Latta know better than anybody what it takes to be winners, as they were part of arguably the most successful junior team ever. But they also know what the Talbot are like. And I think that's where, in terms of, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I've seen a huge amount of the Meda. I've watched quite a lot of their highlights this year, the same with the Talbot, but I've not been at a live game for either of them. But that's the difference, because the Meda don't have any players who are less talented than the majority of the Talbot team. And a lot of teams in that league have guys who, on ability, could get into any team in that league, including the Talbot. But the Talbot do what they do, and they go and win games when they have to win games. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing the run into the league, because Pollok aren't they letting up. And granted, the Talbot can go to Arthurlie league if they win their games in hand, but Pollok are doing what they're having to do to put the pressure right on them. But huge result.
The thing is, they're going far Talbot are going far in the cup competition, albeit they get put out with Rob Roy, which one cup they're out with a great result with them, but they're going to have some amount of fixtures come the end of the season.
Aye, definitely. Moving on to Shots against Rossvale. That's a good result for Shots. Rossvale haven't been as good as they were at the start of the season. They're having a wee tough patch now with new management coming in and stuff, and maybe a change of ideas and systems and stuff like that. But that shows that Shots are a good quality side going and beating a Premier League team.
Shots and John, brilliant for them. 1-0 clean sheets, obviously been a tight game. And they'll be just delighted to get through to the next round, and Rossvale are in the top league, so it's a bit is it a bit of an upset? I don't know. It's a bit of I wouldn't say, and that's no disrespect to Rossvale, I wouldn't say it was a pure upset because and that's down to how well the Shots have been doing. But Rossvale are a good side, and I think that Jamie and that are doing a good job. But I think probably a problem they had on Saturday was he's made a few signings, and I think the boys have been cup tied. I know they're getting a wee turn out of Brad Rodden, and he would have been cup tied because he played in the Scottish for us, and Jordan Logie up front. I know he was at Shots and he's went to him, and he would have probably been cup tied too. So they've probably had a couple of players cup tied as well, which hasn't helped them because Shots are going well. But probably a good close game, and Shots have come out and tap, and really well done to them. But Rossvale decent side, mate. I think that Jamie and his boys are doing good work there. I think that it's going to be tough for them to stay in that league, and now they're out the Scottish. That was a big focus for them. But I've said for years, man, they're punching, and I think the more time that he has at the club, he'll do a good job there, mate.
I think that they'll probably go down this year. It's just maybe too much with the fact that it's 7 teams. But I think them going down might not be the worst thing in the world. It means that Jamie's able to play his style of football, get his kind of philosophy or ideas across, and you're not playing Talbot, you're not playing Pollok, you're not playing Darvel, you're not playing the teams every single week.
Mm-hmm.
You might get a wee bit of fight, and it gives them time to get it together. Moving on to the South of Scotland Cup, Darvel 5, Cambuslang 1. Now we've championed Cambuslang on this show many times. Darvel have had a right good bit of form. Everybody knows Darvel, the players they've got, they're a very good side. I think with Cambuslang, without seeing the game, I think for them it's maybe one of the ones where they maybe needed that a wee kind of keep you in check, like he's a flying, but if you want to be playing in the Premier League, then that's the standard of team you're going to have to be playing against. So it's a sore result for them. But in the cup,
it just shows the quality. It just shows you the quality of Darvel, and to be honest, and we know that they're really hitting form at a good time now. They've obviously just got South into the backroom team. Mick's added South into the backroom team there, so he'll be a good addition to them in there. He's got good experience. He's been a winner on that as well. So. And they've got quality players. Honestly, so much quality in there. And that's a very good result because we've been sitting. It's normally Cambuslang have been dishing out results like that. So you're probably right. It will probably for Billy, for Billy and Paul, they're probably going to go in and go, listen, lads, it just shows you we're not the finished article, and now they really need to focus on the league now, and they're in a very strong position in the league. But that's an impressive result. I've seen some of the goals as well. I've seen Big Mackenzie's header, man, was a cracker. Then he's went and got centre half. But very impressive. Good side, Darvel, very good side, and hopefully they can go next week along with Talbot and Clydebank and do the grade proud like they have done in the previous rounds.
Yep, definitely. Before we move on, by the way, mate, I'm going to say thank you for using your computer tonight to record this.
I know, mate. Because it was I was doing my OnlyFans page, mate, before I came
on. You get your just an image of you taking off your wee Under Armour jump on, you get a wee brown in it.
Mate, I've still not got any knickers on, mate, so you just need to watch I don't stand up, mate. Get a bit of an eyeful, mate.
I know, sitting in your knackers. Right, moving
Yeah,
on.
I'll be honest with you, I'm fucking shattered, mate.
Oh, I know, mate, I know. It's been a long day for you, Lurton. I know. Right, so, moving on to the Premier League. Blantyre, nil, Pollok 1, Cumbernauld 1, Gartcairn 1, Clydebank 2, Rob Roy 3, Glenafton 1, Kilwinning 2, Hurlford 0, Beath 2, Burnley 3, Benz 3, Troon 5, Bonnet 3, Cumnock 4, Largs 2. I would say this is one of the best weeks we've had in the Premier League for quite a while. A lot of teams who are about each other, playing each other. I think we'll start with Clydebank. 2-0 up against Rob Roy, losing 3-2. Rob Roy got a man sent off. Clydebank did as well, and we'll touch on William sending off. But for Rob Roy to come back when they've played more of the game than Clydebank did with a man down, 2 goals down to 1-3-2 is a massive result, but a massively upsetting result for Clydebank as well.
Aye, like listen, you actually seen him off. He was hurting. You could see, and when he's chatting after the game, and they've came back for the Christmas break, and it's been 2 disappointing results for them. And let's not take it away for the Benz and Rob Roy. It's Clydebank, and they'll be saying to themselves there'll be disappointing results, but I think the rest, I think Murph said it, they're conceding goals and they've been quite solid and resolute, and we've been fortunate enough to see them a couple of times, and they looked a good solid unit at the back, and I think that they're maybe just conceding too many goals now. But listen, as I've said, all their focus will be on that Scottish Cup tie, and it's maybe a wee distraction away from the league, and they've shown the boys that they can produce big performances in the Cup against when they're the underdogs and nobody's giving them a chance. So the best thing for them is probably this Cup tie, where realistically against the Benz and Kirky Rob Roy, most people are going to expect Clydebank to win. So it'll be different, and it's probably nicer for them to be kind of the Annan game a bit different. But on that, amazing for Rob Roy. I think it's a massive 3 points for them.
Good.
Maxie's team have had a good bit of form as well. They've actually had a few good results, man, if you take it before Christmas Day. We have said how good a job he's doing with a lot of young players. Young Ben Daly getting a double meant to them for us as well. So that's brilliant to see for young Ben, because I know how good that player he is. But Maxie's obviously developing them well, and the boys doing their up. But that's big, because I looked at the league, and that's a big 3 points, because a lot of other teams down there picked up 3 points. So it was brilliant for Rob Roy, and it really, really showed great character for them. So tremendous credit, mate. That's a top result for Maxie and the boys doing it at Rob Roy. They'll be buzzing with that.
Well, that takes Rob Roy out of the relegation zone. They've got 4 games in hand. Right, I was a nuke. 4 games in hand on the Benz, 2 points behind them. 2 games in hand on Largs, and 3 points ahead of them. So they're in a good position. They've also got 3 games in hand against Cumnock, and 3 points behind. So they're in a really good position that they might be able to stay up. Big one down in Ayrshire. Go win and beating Glenafton. I know Glenafton are only having an amazing season, but still a hard place to go to. That was a good win for Straney. Big one as well for me down in Ayrshire. Great win for Butch and Beath, beating Hurlford 2-0. That takes them a wee bit closer to that kind of top 5 or 6 teams. And I think it's 4 wins out of 6 for them. I think that's been Butch has done quite well this season with him, considering he's kind of been right up there, and I think it's been a good result for them.
Aye, well, firstly, Glenafton is a tough place to go to, because they're scrapping for their life as well, and scrapping to stay in the league. So for straining his team to get down there and get 3 points is a good result. Butch, I think that's a tremendous result, because it wasn't too long ago we were singing the praises of the work that Dan was doing, and this team are picking up wins against Kilwinning and Darvo and stuff like that. So and especially away from home, Hurlford have picked up some good results away from home. So for Beath to win the game 2-0, keep a clean sheet. It's an impressive win, and I agree. I think Butch is doing a tremendous job down there. I think they're doing great work, and I think that they'll be totally fine. I think they're another team that they're not looking anywhere near down below them. They are just focusing on how high they can finish the league, and they're a good side. And you know what I think of Butch, man. Butch is one of the best young managers kicking about. So no, well done to them. Great result.
Very good. Greenock beating Largs 4-2. Largs have been on a decent run. Won the last three before Saturday. Another good win. That's 2 in a bounce for Ginston at Greenock. 2 really important wins for them back to back. That's a massive one. Kilburnie and the Bens drawing 3 each. Another one where Kilburnie need to start putting wins together, but they're no losing many games, and the Bens are having a really solid season.
Well, firstly, I think that's 2 massive results for Greenock, and brilliant for Gints. Gints is obviously now starting to find a way of working, and probably a team as well. And he's got the big guy up front, a Solidar, I think that is. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but the big man's got a couple of goals there, and they're scoring goals, and it sounds a good game. And as we said, lads have been doing well, but that's 2 excellent results for Greenock. And to be honest with you, I think that's gave them a good chance. I think that they're going to have enough about them, and now that Gints is there, he's very experienced, he's a very good manager. I think that they'll have enough to be safe. Who was the other game?
The other one I mentioned was...
the Kilburnie, mate. Sorry, my bad. It was Kilburnie. The Kilburnie and the Bens game, I think, is a thriller. It's a cracker. Sounds a right good game. I think that it just shows how much is at stake, that they just keep going. The 2 teams were going at each other, that none of them could afford and wanted to lose the game. I think it's probably a better point for the Bens than it is for Kilburnie. I think, as you said, mate, and you're quite right, I think Kilburnie are looking at the league now and they're saying we need wins rather than draws. But again, they've not lost the game, but it's a good point for the Bens, especially on the back of their result against Clydebank the week before. So they've took 4 points out of their 2 games, which is a very good, solid return. But there's no mistaking that Tommy and Dinky and that and Owen doing it, Kilburnie have made a big difference, because they're very competitive and they're picking up a lot more points since they've took charge.
Right, they definitely are. Having it right. What I touch on, I'll talk about Pollok. 1-0 against Blantyre. That was unlucky for Blantyre, but Pollok continuing 4th one in the bounce. Blantyre, we know that they're gone. They're relegated pretty much already, but it shows there's still a bit of fight in them there, which is good for Gibby and the boys. I was talking to Josh Weir Saturday night, and he said that it was a good one for them, considering how difficult the conditions were on the pitch at Blantyre. One I want to mention though is Troon beating Bonnet 5-3. No exactly a shock that Troon have beaten Bonnet, but their team have not spoken about much, and you know what they've done? They've had a really solid season, sitting mid-table, and they've had a very under the radar season, but it's been good for them. They've done well.
Aye. Pollok, firstly, is one of the ones where they've probably done their ground out a result, and if you want aspirations to win the league, which they will, then you need to just go down, and sometimes when you're not playing well, and grind out the 3 points and just get the business done. So that's exactly what they've done. They've kept another clean sheet, which is 2 in a row. Shout out to Stu McCann as well. I seen he got his 50th goal for the club, so congratulations to him. But Troon, brilliant results. Troon seem to score a few goals as well. Troon have got good players there, and with Dean and that down there as well, they'll be well drilled, and they've got a lot of good players. So they're having a good season and score 5 goals and a good 3 points for them. And I think that they'll be fine as well, because they've got a bit about them, they've got a bit of quality, and they've got a bit of steel at the back as well. So well done to them, well done to Troon.
Moving on to, well, we never spoke about Cumbernauld, Glencairn, 1 each, kind of no a massive result, but moving on to conference.
Yeah.
Big Mark 3, Bellshill 0, Forth 1, Arthurlie 2, Lesmahagle 1, Lugar 0, Irvine Vicks 1, Saltcoats 1, Maryhill 1, Whitlets 3, Maple 4, Glasgow Uni 1. Arthurlie, It's been the tightest game they've had in a while against fourth. Well done to fourth for making it a good competition. But that's Arthurlie back in league action. 2 games in hand, a point clear of Shots, who obviously played in the Scottish this weekend. That was a big result for Arthurlie just to get themselves back on winning ways. Like we said, still fancy them. Dropped 2 points at a possible 56 or something like that. Or 54 it is, sorry. I mean, it's a ridiculous season they're having.
Machines, mate, machines. But I spoke to a couple of people about Arthurlie at the weekend, and I think they were off it, mate. I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn, and I think a few of their players have come out and said it as well, that they were off it. They weren't quite at it, and the way they have been, but the standards that they've set, it's very difficult to stay at that level the whole time. But what it shows is as I said about Pollok, they've just got that quality. They can go down, they can grind out a result. I know, we all know, and a lot of us know how difficult it is to go to fourth. I imagine they would have made it very difficult, go behind the ball, and made it difficult for Arthurlie to break them down. So the most important thing was that they get the 3 points, but especially with Shots playing in the cup. So it just gives that psychological boost that they're sitting at the top, and they've still got the games in hand. So it's a big 3 points for Arthurlie.
Definitely is. Moving down to the bottom of the table, the bottom 4 teams were all playing each other this weekend. Lesmahagow beating Lugar 1-0. Big result for them. Granted, there's a bit of a gap between Lesmahagow and then Lugar below. Lugar, Saltcoats and Irvine are a wee bit below everybody else. And Irvine and Saltcoats 1 each. That's another decent one. It shows that these teams are much the same kind of level when they'll be playing each other next year. Well done to Lesmahagow. I tip these for good things this season, and it's not really came about. But I always keep a wee eye out for the results. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
Lugar, even though they're 5 in the bounce they've lost, they had that wee spell where they started to look like they were picking up, and they've just maybe fell back into difficult times.
Good they're getting boys back for injury. I've seen the boy Adam coming back for that fractured skull, mate, as well, which is good for them. It's good for us to see as well, because you don't want to see that to anybody.
Nah. Saltcoats and Irvine Vicks 1 each. 2 of them are very close in terms of points, only a point in it. That's probably a fair result down in Irvine.
It's good because they two battle out. Even though you've had a poor season, you don't want to finish bottom of the league. So that just shows in that game that's meant a lot to the 2 of them, and it's ended up a draw, and it's a equal result. But at the same time, they'll be battling out because they don't want to finish bottom of the league.
Definitely. Whitlett's beating Maryhill 3-1. Maryhill have been absolutely flying of late, but so Whitlett's. Whitlett's have really made a bit of a charge at the end. Too little, too late in a sense, because Arthurlie and Shots have had tremendous seasons. But Whitlett's good side. They're going to be a hard team for teams to beat in that kind of championship or first division, whatever it'll be next year.
I think they're a very good side. And they're just, as we've said before, they're in with Shots and Arthurlie, who have been just that wee bit more consistent to them. But what they'll do is they just, if they can keep a hold of all their best players and the majority of their squad, and make a couple of wee additions, which I'm sure George, man, he's very, very knowledgeable at this level. He's got loads of contacts. He's very, very experienced at the level. Then they'll definitely be a force, and I think that they're going to just keep pushing them this season to see how far they can really go.
Aye, definitely. Craigmark beating Bellshill, no much of a shock there. And Mabel beating Glasgow Uni, no much to write home about there either. 2 results that you would expect.
Yeah.
Moving on to Conference B, Gartcairn 6, Greenock 3, Glasgow United 0, Ashfield 5. That's Ashfield with a clean sheet, a beautiful clean sheet and 5 goals. Newmains 1, Kello 2, Royal Albert 1, Port 2, St Cadocs 1, Renfrew 2, Thornleywood 4, Ardeer 0. Right, go for it, Dak. How good were the boys on Saturday?
Boys were good, mate. Boys were good. See, to be honest with you, for the first 20 minutes or so, even the first half, I don't think we played great. We went in 2-0 up. We've got a penalty, which it's hard to see. It looked as if it was something off the ball, but the refs gave it. There wasn't much people arguing about the decision that the ref had gave, so that said it all. And then we've got a goal with big Sean Dot, man. The big man's just absolutely fire in his centre half. Not I mean, he's got, I think, 11 goals for centre half. We were good. We were good second half. We were good. The boys carried out the game plan to a T. Maxie, Maxie got his instructions spot on. I think I maybe said a couple of things that might have been all right and all, but no, the boys were excellent. They deserve all the credit. I think that no many teams will go down to Shettleston and score 5 goals and keep a clean sheet. We've done that. Calling them Shettleston, that's shocking. Glasgow United, their form has been very good of late. They've won lots of games of football. They're starting to climb the league. So it was a big game for both clubs. And I'll be honest with you, mate, we're on a good bit of form. That's us 4 in the bounce. We've won, I think, is it 4?
Aye.
4 in the bounce in the league.
See, honestly, see if...
3 clean sheets, mate, in that.
Mate, see if Maxie had said he was stepping down at the start of the season for the end of the season.
Mate.
He'd have been scushing it this year, man.
I know, mate. Ever since Maxie, and I'll be honest with you, and I've said this, I thought it might have been detrimental, the gaffer letting the boys know when he did, and I totally understand why he's done it, but fair play to the boys, man. The boys have since he's told them, have been absolutely outstanding. I can't praise them enough, but at the same time, we've not achieved nothing, we've not done nothing, we're not even though we've climbed the league, we're not sitting where we want to be sitting, but they've been excellent, mate, and I really give them so much praise, and they deserve it after the weekend, because, as I said, in the last 4 league games, we've won 4, we've kept 3 clean sheets as well, which is pleasing. We're looking quite solid at the back, and we're scoring goals, mate. I think we're the 3rd top goal scorer in the league as well. So no, it was good, mate, but we just keep working hard, mate, and we've got a cup game, good big cup game on Saturday against Rosville, where we'll be the underdogs, and they'll be expecting us to go and do it against Rosville, but it'll be a good game. It'll be kind of derby feel about it as well, so it gives us a wee bit of difference to the league action, but we're doing okay, and the boys have been excellent, mate.
Mate, it's obviously I tipped you to do really well at the start of the year, because I think that particularly when you had like Ben and Brad and stuff, I thought that front line you said was unbelievable. Ryan McManus, his return this season's ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The Sarri buff, mate, is outstanding, mate.
See, the thing is, we're talking about, and quite rightly so, we're talking about Williamson at Cambuslang, the amount of goals he scored. Not much is getting said about the fact that 27 that McManus has got. I mean, that's huge. That's great numbers. But moving on to what I think was a massive result, and I think that it was the result that pretty much finished the league for Cambuslang, as Renfrew beat St Cadocs 2-1. After getting rid of Southey, which was a bit of a shock, that's a massive result. I think they were 1 up as well, so great result for Jimmy and Renfrew. But aye, 2-1 for St Cadocs, dropping points there.
Aye, firstly, Jimmy's doing tremendous since he's got the job, and really credit must go his way. But their players as well. I've said for day one that Renfrew have got good players, and Scotty Morton and I think get the winner, and good players there, and that's a good result. I think it's been tough for St Cadocs. I don't know what's went on behind the scenes, and it would be unfair of me to comment, but I was shocked that Southie's moved on, and that maybe just played a wee bit into Saturday's result as well. But you take nothing away from Renfrew, it's a great result for them, and I think St Cadocs gave them a bit of a doing at the start of the season, so it was a wee chance for Renfrew to go and maybe get one back. I give a wee bit of payback, and they've done that, mate, and it's a brilliant result for them, because I know that they're chasing that top 4 as well, so it's a great result.
Aye. Gartcairn winning 6-3 against Greenock. Greenock have been absolutely flying. I know Greenock have really been struggling with boys missing through injury and illness and work and all that. And I know Doyley's been really struggling to put a team on the park some weeks. So it's even more credit to how well he's done. I think that's a first defeat in 9. But Gartcairn, that was a good win for them. Again, I still believe the league's finished. That's what 5 points behind Cambuslang that Gartcairn are, but played 2 games more. But
Gartcairn, good. That's a great result. Scoring 6 goals, mate. It's very impressive, mate.
Thornleywood beating Arthurlie 4-0. It's been a really tough spell for Sean. I think that fortunately they had that tremendous start to the season, and it's kind of maybe their boys are tiring a wee bit of his injuries. Not really spoken to Sean or late to know, but it's been a wee hard run they've been on. But that brings them right back into the mix with yourselves. You're only a point behind them with 2 games in hand. he's got a really good chance. What I'd say, just looking at the table, what I'd say is quite worrying for Aberdeen is the fact that in 23 games they've lost 52 goals, and they weren't losing a massive amount of goals early in the season, so that's obviously been the difference there.
See, I'm going to put this out here, right, and I know they're in the same league as us, but I think that Dolzy and Izzy and the Fornleywood have been outstanding, mate. Absolutely up there with probably the jobs of the season, because I think Fornleywood to be sitting where they are and getting the results they're getting. They're scoring goals for fun, mate. The boy's small up front, scoring goals for fun, and they're not conceding a lot. And I think they deserve a tremendous amount of credit. I don't think they get the credit they deserve, and I think that Dolzy and Nizzy are doing brilliant, mate. And I think that their team are doing very well, because I wouldn't imagine resources wise they have a hell of a lot, but they've got a lot of good young players, and they're trying to play football the right way. And that's impressive, because Sean's went and made a couple of good signings through the Christmas period, and all Calvin Kemp he's got for winning and stuff like that. So listen, I only think it's a matter of time before Ardea start putting results together. That's my personal opinion, because I think that they've got good players and they're a good side. They maybe just need that one wee result, see that wee scrappy 1-0 win or something, that'll kickstart them again. But tremendous amount of credit to Fornleywood. I think they're having a tremendous season, mate.
To be fair, Fornleywood are only 4 points off Gartcairn on the same.
I know, mate.
I mean, that's literally can be turned in 2 weeks, and then they're sitting second in the league.
Yeah, they're doing amazingly well, in my opinion. And I didn't think for 1 minute that they would be up and pushing that top 4 and even trying to push up higher than that. They've done tremendously well, mate.
No. Moving on to the lower half of the table, good win for Kello against New Mains, 2-1. Paul Davies is obviously him. I'm sorry, I can't remember the guy.
Guppy,
that's it. 2 of them have stepped down, which is a shame, because even though New Mains have had a bad season, I feel the 2 of them have definitely done a good job, and the club are in a better place now than they were when they took care. So it's a bit of a shame for them to go. But Tony getting the win at Kello, he's turned things around there, so they'll be pleased with that.
Yep. I just think for me personally, I think that we've played against New Mains a lot over the last couple of years, and maybe they're no challenging for leagues in that, but that doesn't mean that the guys haven't done a tremendous job there, because what they've done is they've improved so much, probably the club, inside the club, outside the club, the infrastructure of the club's all been changed and stuff like that. And I think they've made the club a lot better place and a lot stronger. So for me, it's always important that the results, and you want to finish high in the league and you want to win cups and trophies. But what the job that they've done is keeping the club afloat and making so many improvements on and off the park as well. And I wish them all the best, mate.
Aye, definitely. Final one, the Port beating Royal Albert. Not a huge shock, but a 2-1 game, nice and tight. I believe the pitch was quite a difficult one to deal with the weekend there. Royal Albert, all the teams have had the hardest of seasons, but I think the most important thing for them is that they've been able to keep the club going, because I know they've had real issues after the park, so at least they're keeping the club going, thankfully.
I think I've touched on it as well, man. They've got brilliant people in the background that work so hard with the club, and there's been a few occasions we played them, mate, and they gave us a really tough game. So they've gave the Port a tough game. So as you've said with previous teams, it shows that they're not getting up the goals. They still want to try and pick up points and the players are still wanting to impress. So it's tough, mate. It's very tough and it can be hard, but I just hope they get a wee result, do you know what I mean? Because they all deserve it, don't they?
Definitely. Moving on to the league of the season for me, Conference C, Ardrossan 1, the Ants 3, Kilsyth 3, East Kilbride 0, Larkhall 2, Petershill 2, Nielsen 5, Yoker 1, Petershill 2, Lanark 0, The Rock 4, Villa Leaving 0, Villa Clyde 3, Wishaw 5. I'm going to start with, even though Nielsen, Petershill and The Rock have all won, I'm going to start with the behind Petershill, the most informed team in the league, the Ants. Another good win for them, going down to Ardrossan and taking 3 goals off them. That's 5 in the spin in the league. They're Danny and Kush and Ronnie, they're doing some job there.
No, I don't think I can add anything on that we haven't said there the last couple of weeks. They just keep knocking the results out and keep getting the 3 points, and that's a hard place to go to. And they've went down there, and as you say, they've won the game, and it's another 3 points, and they're sitting in a really good position in the league. And I think they've done brilliant, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Petershill winning 2-0. Apparently, it was quite a tough game for them at Lanark. They ended up scoring, I think,
Right at the end.
when they scored right at the death to finish it. They're flying now.
They're going to be up. They're going to be up there. They're in a shoot to win the league, mate. And just need to see how that pans out. But that's another win for them. And probably not played at their best, but they've got another 3 points, mate. And we've mentioned it already today that's just what you need to do. You want to win a league.
Exactly. Nielsen, they're flying now. I know it's a fourth one in a row in the league. 5-1.
Easier, I think, a hat trick, wasn't it?
Aye, it's not like easy to score a hat trick there. That's huge because I feel that even though we have praised Nielsen, we've spoke about him, it's mainly been about the drum and Petershill and the two of them where we find out. Nielsen won their game in hand on the drum. They're joint tap with him. I mean, they're right in the mix, you know what I mean?
They are certainly in the mix.
I think they've still got to play. The drum and Petershill. So there's a lot to play for. Good to see the Rock.
Certainly in the mix, mate.
Aye. Good to see the Rock getting a 4-0 win. Craig Malcolm with a nice free kick as well in his debut.
Yeah, tell you what, mate, that's some signing for them. See him and Longworth up front, mate. They're cut like experience, but tell you what, they boys can play, mate, and they boys have been about the senior grade, and they'll be a handful for any defence. But I don't think we've really spoke much about the Rock because they've had a lot of games called off, so that's an impressive result for them. And I know there's been a lot of hard things happening down there, the things with Paul and then Stuart Gordon, one of their fans, passing away as well. It's been a very difficult couple of months for everybody down at St Roch's and everybody connected to the Candy. And I always send we always, as well as a podcast, we always send our thoughts and our prayers with everybody down there. But it's good to see the boys doing the business in the park. And as we say, they've added Craig Malcolm in there as well. I think they've got Rob Maguire back as well, who's a very good player as well. So it makes it very, very entertaining, mate. Very, very tight. It'll be good.
This league's going to be brilliant at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Wishaw getting another win under Dunny. Good win for them. Kilsyth getting another win. Kilsyth are kind of a wee bit hit and miss this season, but I still think they'll probably finish fifth in the league. I think that having 4 games in hand on the Ants, they'll be able to pick them to that 5th spot.
Yeah.
But we never know how the Ants are going. They can just keep going. Moving on to Division 4, finishes up. We have BSC 2, Glenville 3, Campbelltown 1, Kilsyth 5, Arthurlie 4, Harthill 0, St Peters 2, Finnart 2. I'll start on St Peters and Finnart. I was working on Saturday, but I managed to get down and catch maybe 25 minutes of the game before I had to go to work. By all accounts, Finnart could have been out of sight in the first half. Probably should have been 2 or 3 up at least in the first half. Missed their chances. Your goalkeeper has had a cracking game, kept us in it. And then when I was there second half, it was quite a scrappy game, but I thought that we looked the most likely to score. And Macaulay missed, I wouldn't say an absolute sitter, but one of the expecting him to do better. We right at the death, balls get pitched in at back post. He's kind of peeled off the defender and attacked it, did really well. Took it on a volley for an angle about 4 or 5 yards out, skied it out of the bar, which was quite disappointing because I'd expect him to take that, to be honest, and that would have been a huge win for us. But it's a good draw for Finnart in that sense because it keeps them right in it. After Kilsyth going and beating Campbelltown. So there's Kilsyth are 5 clear at the top, but Finnart have 3 games in hand. And Arthurlie back to winning ways against Harthill, but Harthill have had a horrible season. There's not much to say.
Aye, no, that's it's Finnart. By all accounts, there for what you're saying, if they'd have won that, it would have put them in a brilliant position. They're still in an amazing position. It's still in their own hands, and that's what you probably want in football, and it's to have it in your own hands. But Kilsyth have put the pressure on, and that's good for Kilsyth to see that Finnart have dropped a couple of points, but it's tight, but I still think Finnart, they've got a wee bit about them. And the games are getting less and less, but let's just see what the pressure does. Kilsyth have had a bit of pressure. They've went down to Campbelltown and got the result. And then it's been a good. I seen Big Friel's header. Was it Friel scored the header?
Aye, it was.
Good header, mate. Good header. He's got that. He's good. He's good at attacking set plays and stuff. He's decent in there. But it makes it interesting. Do you know what I mean? It just brings it that wee bit closer, and it means that margin for errors just that wee bit smaller. So it'll be an entertaining few games to the end of the season to see who comes out on top. But Finnart are still in a good, strong position.
It's Finnart's to lose, to be fair, and we always say it's better to have the points on board, but Finnart looked like a really good chance of winning it. And it is a 2-horse race. For us, that was your first draw. That was your first.
Aye. See, that's probably the problem. You either just win or lose. You see, if you a couple of draws in there or not, it does always help towards the end of the season.
Including the Cups, we've played 22 games this season, and that's our first draw.
Aye.
Aye, it says a lot. It was kind of disappointing because that's how I played Finnart 3 times. When they beat us 1-0, 2-1, we scored our own goal with the last kick of the ball. We battled them that day. Then we beat them 3-1. We're comfortably better. Apparently, a draw was probably a fair reflection on Saturday, but that's a team that for me is probably going to win the league, and we've been able to be better than them 2 out of 3 games. But
we've always said it's the other wee games it's let St Peter's doing this year, isn't it?
Losing to BSC and losing to Hart Hill and stuff that's really caused us issues. But it's the first season, it's a learning curve.
Yes,
put a brand new team together, so that is what it is. But that's us.
Mate, PG, I think, and I wanted to speak about them as well. And don't we mentioned them, so it's a wee boo-boo on our part. Johnston Borough, mate, right?
Did I mention them?
No, they're flying, right? But the big thing that I wanted to get to, they're flying, and Jamie's putting a great run together. And the team's really kicking on. I think that they're going to push into the top 4. When I was looking at the leagues and the results yesterday, but the big thing that I wanted to touch on was their captain, Big Niall Heron, mate. He's had to retire, mate. He's only in his mid-20s. I think he's only in his mid-20s. So horrible thing to hear. A boy so young and a boy so talented, especially being the captain of the club. We've played against him. We played against him with Ashfield a couple of seasons back, and he's a very good player. I know Jamie was keen to try and get him back fit and playing, but it's unfortunate that I've announced last week that the boy has to stop playing due to injuries. And at that age, it's horrible to see. So just on behalf of myself and obviously PG in the podcast, we just want to wish Niall all the best and his retirement. And if you ever fancies making the odd appearance to come on and do a wee round-up show with us or something to get a wee football fix, mate, then we're all for it. And if we can get down to a Johnston Borough game at some point through the season or get Jamie on the show, it'd be brilliant to have him on it as well to try and get a wee chat with him, because it's not a nice thing to hear. Do you know what I mean? You want that boy to go and play until he's mid to late 30s, you know what I mean? So all the best, mate, and your fitness and your health is more important than a game of football. But if you need that football fix, mate, give us a shout.
Right, we're always here. Good to talk to people, I know.
Yeah.
I've managed, do you know what I've managed today? This weekend was my last weekend in 7. I've got 7 weekends off. I never get that many weekends off. I'm going to get in and take a few games in. Teams that I've not seen for ages. I'm going to get down and I'll maybe see if I can record a few things on my new reaction camera that I got.
Aye, mate, you batter in, mate. You batter in.
Be busy doing your football stuff and that. And I need to go to the shops and that on a Saturday, my day off.
Aye, well, that's it, mate. That's it.
No fault.
Right, I'm going to my bed, mate. That's 10:30, man. I'm up too late.
I know. Right, everybody. Well, we hope you have a good week. And before we finish up, a massive good luck for the 2As to Clydebank, the Talbot and Darvel at the weekend in the Scottish.
100%.
We are praying that you can all go and get results. But even if they don't, they've done us all proud. They've been phenomenal this season, and it's 3 hard games they've got. Every
one of them have got nothing to lose, everything to gain, because nobody's gained us. West of Scotland teams are hoping hell, but we have faith on this show like they done the last time. Go on the West teams, get in amongst them.
And I'm going to be doing it the Talbot game on Saturday. So if anybody wants a wee chat with us, just pop in and see us. So that's us done for another week. All the best, troops, and have a good week. Sorry, we're a day late with this. See you after.